Welcome back. Another episode of LeetCode Algorithm Training. To get started, you can go ahead and join our live coding session. So we'll get started by sharing the code with everybody on the team. So I'll copy the code. We're using VS Code, which you can download by going to, I believe it's vscode.com. No, code.visualstudio.com. And then you can download it from there. But I'm going to send this link to everybody on our team so that way they can join into our code session if they want. We've got the team at Voice First as well as the GroupMe team. Today we're going to be looking at unique email addresses, which the ultimate goal is, given a list of emails, how many different email addresses actually receive emails. And it looks like we got to figure out how periods change an email address as well as a plus changes a video or changes an email address. So we'll get started with that. I'm going to pull that up over here so that people can start watching and looking at the algorithms. And over here I'm going to start sending out the link. Alright, so we got the link all sent out so people can join us whenever they feel ready. Let's look over the problem again. So the problem is called unique email addresses, and we know that every email address has a domain name, which is the back part after the @ sign, and then also the local name, which comes before the @ sign. For example, here is the local and here is the domain. So you can also use dots and pluses, which modify the functionality of where an email address goes. If we throw in a dot, it's just going to be, dots can be ignored pretty much because it can be forwarded to the same name without the 3 dots as the local name, which means that alice.z gets forwarded to Alice. So anytime there's a dot, we can consider it the same as an email address without the dot. Plus sign means that it ignores everything afterwards. Everything after gets ignored. So m.y at email.com ends up turning into my at email.com because everything after the plus gets ignored and the dot also gets ignored. So you can also combine both of those, which they showed right here. This is combining both of those rules. So our challenge, given a list of emails, and we're going to send one email to each email address in the list, how many different addresses are actually going to receive emails? So that's our challenge. Any ideas of how we can get this started?
How many different addresses actually receive email?
Yes. So knowing that plus is going to erase everything after and that a dot can be ignored, what can we write in here to create an int count or unique count that we can return? So maybe we can just define some broad things that we'll need to do, and then we can actually implement those as we go. First thing, let's create the variable that we want to return.
What do you want to return?
We want to return the unique count of emails.
Right.
So I think you could maybe just like brute force your way through, iterate through the array of strings, find all the pluses, remove everything until the @ sign.
Iterate through array, and then what?
Iterate through the array, find all the dots, remove them, find all the and find all the plus signs, and then remove everything until the @ sign. I don't know if the order is really best, but and then you have to calculate uniqueness after you remove it. There's a way to do it while you're
and then check if the final string is unique. Iterate through the whole array of emails. Find and remove the dot, find and remove the plus signs, and then check if that final string is unique amongst what we've already got. That's the biggest question for me, is how do we check if it is unique amongst what we already have?
Well, so if you iterate through the array, you can make a new array.
New array.
And then you can so for the first one, it's like going to be unique. This is the first one. So you put that in the new array. The next one comes through, you check against the new array. If it's already in there, it's not unique, so you don't update the counter. If it is unique, then you put it into the new array.
I mean, heck, with that, we don't even need a count variable.
Yeah.
You know, we just return the length of this unique array. So that's I think what we should do. Anyone know how to define a Java array?
Define?
Yeah, like how do I change this declaration of an int into a declaration of an array?
Same like that is equal to. Oh, but you have to set it. You can't do it dynamically though.
I have to
Yeah, it's like Java's weird. They don't have that.
Java doesn't do a dynamic.
I have to set the size of the array before.
No, they have like a special. They have like
Yeah.
an array list or something.
You
Yeah,
can
like
use
it's
array
like-
list, but array list is the only way. Java is static.
Java dynamic array size.
Array list.
Yeah, you
I
have to
never
do array list.
Let's see if this will work. I added the thing, but I didn't actually create any. We want to save this as unique emails.java. We will paste our current code. Cool. So now Samia can help if you would allow. Let's just see what happens if I throw this guy in there. I have a feeling we're not going to be allowed to use Java classes. Maybe we will.
Yeah, you can't do it that way.
No, don't submit. Dang it.
Unexpected type.
Unexpected. Oh, maybe cap int?
Maybe.
Would it be cap integer or just cap int? Cannot
Maybe
find
integer.
symbol in what?
It might be full name integer. It's a wrapper type, right?
Yay, okay, so we can actually do that. Cool, so let's use this, and this will be unique emails. Unique email array. Anyone know how to get the length of an array list?
Yeah, it's just name that one. Email that one.
With,
I believe, well, I don't know with array list, but arrays you don't need the parentheses.
let's see what we do now.
So you might need to unknown symbol.
Cannot find the symbol. Unique array email.
Look up array list and the length. I don't know if you can do it this way, but it might be dot.
Size.
Array list is-
Ah, good old size. The synonym for length. Cool. Okay, so now we have a dynamic array, and we are returning the size of that array at the end.
Mhm.
So that is this first step. Create
Should
the
we
array.
change that to a string? Instead of list integer to string, because we're going to be putting the.
Great point. Great point.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Should still be good. I'm going to copy this over into our code just in case anybody is here. Okay, so the next step, iterate through array of emails. In Java, we have two ways of iterating, while or for. Agreed. Why?
I don't even.
Because it's easier, it's a smaller amount of code.
Yeah.
gmail.line.
Is there a reason? Like, I don't know.
So we're iterating over an array, which is usually a for loop. Whiles are if there's a separate condition that is not, because we start and stop, we want to go over every single element inside of this array. And that is best, a for loop is best for that. If there's a different connection, if there's a different condition, like stop once a separate variable has reached 0, or once a separate variable is past a certain amount, then a while loop is better. Or if but a for loop is good if we want to just iterate over an entire array. So for this, okay, so we're now iterating. So now I have a feeling good question. Like, should we clear these up first, or should we clear the dots up first? You asked that originally.
I think we can do them both at the same time. Right?
We definitely want to do them both.
So we can do them in the same loop.
You know what I'm saying?
We should get rid of the pluses first.
Why? I agree. I think that too. But why do you think that?
Because if there's a dot after the plus, we don't like it. It doesn't matter. So if we get rid of the pluses, we just get rid of it.
Plus can get rid of additional dots, but a dot can only get rid of itself. So if we get rid of the pluses first, it might save us some work, because we may automatically remove all of the pluses, and then this won't need to remove any of the dots. Okay, so now we need to say index of, I think. What is it? So emails I is going to get us this email. And we want to see if it contains string contains Java. Dot contains. Let's see how it's used. String dot contains. Okay, give me an example. String dot contains, and then the quote. Okay, so for us, yeah, let me copy and paste. So here we want to do dot contains. Ooh, no. So contains is,
it's just a Boolean.
It'll return a Boolean, which isn't super helpful for us. We want to do an index of. We want to find where.
Char at.
I think char at's probably what we want. Let's see if we can do that. Dot char. No, not char at. So
don't we need a char?
I think there's an index of. String dot index of. So we can find the index of a string, or even a character. So we can just do dot index of, and we'll do it of the character plus, and we will make this an int local end index. The end of the local. Okay, so it equals the index of that.
You should have another, maybe have another a while loop after that to iterate, because you have to iterate through the string to find the adds, right?
To find the what?
To find the adds, or does that matter?
Great question. Great. Int at location at index equals emails I dot index of at. So now we have both of those. So then we want to say string new final email equals emails. We'll also change it over here. Emails I dot substring from 0 to local end index.
And then you can do it again, concatenate it with
plus emails I dot substring from, I think it might be at index -1 plus 1.
No, index of app. You want it from app to sign, right?
I want it from the at index to the end.
Yeah, so it would be just at index. It wouldn't be +1.
Oh, okay.
Because it's inclusive and then exclusive.
Perfect then. So now we should get the final email, and then we want to, oh, no semicolon. Semicolon, wrong line. Semicolon. Okay, so now we want to find the dots and remove those. So we'll do the same. We will create a local end index. No. Yes.
We have to check the final email, right?
Yes.
For any dots.
Yes.
So if final email dot contains, then you want to do it? Because if there's no dot, what's the point?
Good. Local end index equals final email dot index of, and this will be the index of a dot.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's what, yes, I agree with you. We should have an if statement. If local end index is greater than -1, because it'll be -1 if it doesn't exist. So if it's greater, then we know dot exists. So now we want to remove it by doing the substring again. Oh,
Get the index of at as well.
I was just about to ask. So do you? Yeah. What happens if there is
Yeah,
no?
that's what I'm saying. Get the index of at.
If there's no plus? What happens if there's no plus? So we get an index of, and there's no plus. So this returns -1,
Uh-huh.
and then we try to get a substring from 0 to -1.
That's what I'm saying. You should get a boolean for plus first.
Okay.
And then do that.
Cool.
I think that's
So
the best we can do.
if local end index is greater than -1. Now this is one of the easiest algorithms. So with the amount of code that we have at 23 lines, my mind's starting to go, are we overthinking this?
Possible, but let's just see, get it to work, and then we'll fix it.
Cool.
Probably could do it recursively as well, but
Now that seems more complex.
Are all the emails the same, like ending?
yeah, at whatever. If everything after at doesn't matter. It's a domain name.
No, we don't know that it's the same afterwards, but we do know. We don't know that they're all going to have the same domain.
Does the domain name matter for uniqueness? No, right?
The total string is the thing that has to be unique.
Okay.
Kind of. And then we wanted to find string final mail outside of here. Get this. Okay, and then we'll probably just kind of want to copy this. So we get the add index. We don't need the add index though.
We need it of the dot.
Well, yeah, that's the local end index.
Yeah.
And then for the final email is going to equal email I.substring 0 to the dot, non-inclusive. And then we want to add on to that the substring from,
Local index, end index plus 1?
yes.
What if there's more than one dot?
Good question.
You can make it a while loop.
Yeah.
Remove character from string. How to remove Did you find it? Was it in there?
You can do replace. They have a replace the character dot with just this empty space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you said replace?
Yeah.
Yup, that's what we want.
For
Yep.
replace all the dot, yeah.
You're right. Good catch. All right, so we don't even need this stuff. We just got to do dot replace. And now we are going to replace the single character of dot with empty.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. And then check if the final...
So we need to.
I think we're successful here. Like find the dot and remove. This is finding the dot.
And then
This is
you
removing
add
it.
The final email to the array, the new one.
Yeah, so check if it is in there. So then that means we want to say if
Wait,
The unique email array dot contains.
unique
oh, wait,
email array dot contains.
Yeah.
You just guessing, or
I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't worked with array lists enough.
Did we append the?
Probably dot has. What? You're saying what?
Did we append the email to the list here?
not yet? So there's adds contains. Yeah, array list dot contains. So we say if it contains final email. And honestly, we don't need to do anything when it does contain it. So
do a false.
yeah, so I'll take this guy, X. If not, if it does not contain unique email, so then we would go unique email array dot add final email.
Should do it.
Run.
Oh, I just realized.
I forgot semicolons.
Not just that. The replace dot will replace the dot coms.
The only time is that the dot com will be the same for everything. Yeah, they won't affect the uniqueness.
What if there's a .net?
Oh. Well, wait, let's run it and see.
Yeah.
What you
Good,
can
good,
do-
good observation. Because you are right. We're gonna remove that, and that's got to be an issue.
Empty character literal.
It's illegal.
Just do an empty string then. Yeah, that's it. Star string, no suitable method called replace star. Maybe it should work.
Replace char and string empty. Replace char with empty string in Java.
String dot replace. String dot replace.
What if we
Do-
null? Dang.
Go up there.
What?
Why don't we just do final email dot replace? Maybe that's what the issue is. Maybe it doesn't want to do it with an array list.
That's what we wanted anyways. I was incorrect with doing emails.
No. You can't do null.
No null. Let's try just this guy.
Have to be, yeah, string dot replace. You want that one?
This?
Yeah.
This is what we got.
I think that the first argument you have is in there.
Ooh.
So if you replace that to double quotes, replace the first argument,
Yeah. So you have to do email. You have to do final email at. Go.
Great.
We got one.
Yeah. We also removed,
There was like
so Lee, we should not have removed this dot.
So what you want to do is you want to get the index of the dot and then the index of the at and do a substring of that and then concatenate it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. Like if they're all leapcode.com, let's just not even worry about anything at the end. So it won't affect uniqueness at all.
Samir, say again. So I've got at index equals.
Final email dot index of at.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what?
And then you want to do what do you call this? While
Don't need a while. We can do this without a while.
So,
Find the.
oh, yeah. So here's what I'm doing. You want to take a substring of the final email up until the at.
Make it a new string.
Yeah.
Local equals
Final email dot substring 0 and then the at index. Yeah.
so now we have the local.
And then local dot replace.
So actually we want to put U right there. And then instead of checking local index,
No, so something more like this.
What up?
So right there.
local end index is, instead of final email, it should be local dot index of dot, and then local index. Great. If that's true, we don't want to be modifying local.
Where are you?
Local equals local dot replace this. So now we've only replaced it from the first part, not anything after the at. And then for final email is actually only going to equal
Local plus.
ooh, and then we need a substring afterwards.
Yeah.
So local, and then we'll say string domain
Yeah.
equals final email dot substring from
At index.
at index to final email. I think I might just be able to pass in one argument. So now we've got domain, which means that final email is going to be final email. Well, it's going to be local
Yeah. Local
plus domain.
Yep.
And then,
the parentheses you have on there.
thank you,
It should be good.
You need a semicolon.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeet. All right, so let's see what happens when we submit.
It's not gonna be slow because we have so many.
Runtime error.
Yeah.
String index out of bounds. String index out of bounds. String index out of range, -1. Okay, so we're doing something at a -1. I wonder what that is.
The only thing we do is localize index.
It's right here that they're saying that is. So that means at index is a -1 sometimes, which doesn't really make sense.
What do we edit? We don't even edit that.
Ooh.
What happened?
I was thinking that we may have erased the at from up here. So, but this is saying that there is no at index. Like at index here is -1, which means that this returns -1, which means that somewhere we had have gotten rid of the at symbol. Well, it means one of two things. It either means that there are some emails that it's feeding us as inputs that don't have an at symbol in it, or the first part of our algorithm is removing the at symbol, which screws up the later part of our.
If the second thing is the case, then the issue would be where we do the substring.
Which substring? What line?
Right here. Right when we do the final email equals.
This one?
Yeah.
Line 14?
Yeah. Maybe one of them isn't inclusive or something. Maybe that's the issue.
The first is inclusive, the second is not. That's always the case. The first argument is inclusive, the second is not.
What about this one? This is where we do the concatenation.
It would be at the inclusion all the way to the end.
So you're saying at index should include the at index here?
I believe so. Because you want the at, right?
System caps for system outprint?
Yeah.
Yeah, JavaScript it's so free flowing you get it in here. Oh.
Yeah, I think we're good, at least on that set.
Maybe you have to change the index of instead of a character to a
What
string.
about the test dot dot email? There's 2 dots.
Right.
Go away. So this is the output that we get when it fails. Let me change this from outprint to outprint line. So we get an error that string index is out of range, -1.
The dots aren't working. Dots aren't being removed.
Huh? What do you mean dots aren't being removed? Well, we're yeah, that's because we're logging before we remove dots.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. So log the at index and see what comes up.
Yep.
But
-1. That's not very helpful.
that's really weird. We know final email definitely has acid.
My laptop's about to shit. Ideas?
Are we using index outright? Maybe try outputting.
Here we go.
I don't know.
It should work. I just don't see where we're
Maybe.
Line 19 is where the error is occurring.
But the error doesn't occur up here.
Correct.
But we know there's ads in the output after this line.
One more time?
We know from the output that we're getting ads, right? In our strings, right?
Just out of curiosity.
We'll run it again. I'll remove the line where the error is occurring. We will comment all of this, and then we'll just print stuff and see what happens.
Wrong answer. So it's
Right. Well, yeah, we know it's the wrong answer. That's not what we're checking for here.
Commented at the period. Or so we
I mean, this is mine.
RJ, don't interrupt.
Oh. I thought you were asking if you wanted
This
some.
is my sandwich. Is it? It's a question.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is your sandwich.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's just run through it real quick.
Just in time.
Where would this be
Looks like a
negative?
man.
Where would that possibly be
What's up,
negative?
dude? Not going.
Only if it's. What are you thinking?
I think actually running through it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't want it to give you.
So,
It doesn't seem to be there now.
So let's just take a side of
Maybe I
the
just like put it in my car.
check your index of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you want everything to
What was it?
0 to
It was both on our original.
3.
Yeah.
Tap T.
Well,
Oh, yeah, we're printing the emails out here. These are the results of those prints. So I think we can start from here and work down and see.
Okay, so at index.
But there's definitely an at symbol, that's what I don't understand. What doesn't make sense to me is that there can't be a negative one.
All right, so there's a good chance to take a break and talk with Yusuf.
Okay.
One of you guys want to explain the algorithm and what we're trying to do?
Yeah, so the idea is they're giving us a string array of middle. Okay. We have to go through and find all the unique. And so there's like, I'll read.
Okay, Alice, so name and domain name. Fair enough. Besides lowercase letter c's, emails may contain periods or pluses. If you add periods between some characters, cards, to the address fields that they're looking for, seeking logos, palette docs, and looking for the campaign, alice.c@bitcode.com, and lc@bitcode.com. Forward to the same address. Okay. You add a plus, and then everything after the plus sign will be ignored. This one. String filter m.1 plus forwarded to my. Oh, so it takes out the period and it takes out the pluses.
It takes out everything after.
Oh, it takes out everything. So it takes out everything after the plus for x period, it takes out one period.
Yeah. So yeah, like the my dot plus name is mine.
Okay.
So from a high level, what we did, we created an array to hold all of our unique emails, and then we iterate through the array of emails that we're given. We find the plus signs and remove all of the content after the plus signs. We find all of the dots and just remove those dots. And after we remove those, we check if the final string is a unique email. And if it is, then we add that to our unique email array, and then we return the size of that unique email array.
I was thinking, did you try like going through every email and using like the split function? Because I imagine that would be really good with the at sign, so that you could split the username and then domain name.
Okay, give me an example for the second part. So we're hitting an issue that this is returning -1 for some reason. I think this would be a good chance to do as you're talking about.
-1 is returned when you actually can't find the index.
Right, but the thing is, when we're looking at it, it is in there, so we can't figure out why it's in there. So let's test what you're saying. Talk me through what we need to do to get rid of the replace, or to get rid of this index of, and to do the split instead. So we want to take this final email, and we want to split it into the local, which is everything before the @ and the domain, which is everything after the @.
Yeah.
So what would I do to do that?
So first of all, how split works is it's like, it's an array of strings. So when you have an @ sign, it's like, say you even have like 2 @ signs. Every time there's an @ sign, it like splits those strings, so that if you were to have 2 @ signs, you'd have 3 strings, and then it puts them in an array of strings and orders them by 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and so first, to use split, you would actually need like an array of strings, first of all.
Cool. How do I define that?
String the square brackets. It's like args. If you look up, string args. It's exactly like that. Well, it's not.
Talk me through it, dude. Pretend like I'm dumb.
Just remove args, and you have the decoration. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's the type, and then you just put your name, or whatever name you can, and say that equals. I forgot what method. You just call the object and then dot split, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dot split. I forgot if it was uppercase or lowercase.
It's lowercase.
Lowercase. Okay. And then you would put the character you want to split it at. So that would be the @ sign in that case.
Okay.
And then you would have and then in this case you have an email, you have 2 individual strings. The string at index 0 would be the username, and the string at index 2 would be the domain name in that case. And so that's something you can like do really easily to like
No, it's just,
differentiate
yeah.
the domain name and the.
So is this correct?
That is exactly correct. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't need this index anymore.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. Yeah.
Does mine run into? Oh.
You have to make it into a string, not a character.
Oh. Okay.
Can do. Okay, looking good over there. Out of bounds exception.
Oh, maybe it doesn't have to.
Out of bounds, so there's something here that is out of bounds. There is no.
If there's nothing to the right, then you would experience some, or even nothing to the left, you would experience some problems, because then one of them would be like, I don't know, would it be an empty string? Or it might not even be a string at all, it might be null in that case. So maybe you want to check if they're null or empty or whatnot. Or even the size of the array. You can do dot length. Yeah.
So, what do you think? Give me an example, or pull up the code bracket, but like tell me to do something.
You could. What are the tests in the case?
Maybe just print out the split email to see if we're getting the domain.
Tell me where to put a log. Which line?
After domain.
Yeah.
String
Oh
domain.
yeah, you can just like print.
22.
Yeah.
Print what?
Local and then another one for domain.
But it would get rid of the at sign, right?
Yeah, it gets rid of the outside print.
We don't want to get rid of that sign.
All right, now we got lots of logs.
The test.
Yeah. So.
So it looks like I got rid of that.
Ah, I got rid of the at.
Oh yeah, that's what it does. It gets rid of the at too. So you would just like.
You have to
concatenate-
add the at.
Yeah. So you would do like string 1 plus the at sign plus string 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Done. It's still not. What next?
I mean, if everything was done correctly, that should be it.
Okay. Well, it is not because we have an error.
I'm still skeptical.
So this something is incorrect before this line. Something is incorrect in this part. So probably something is incorrect up here. But that is an assumption on my part.
Line plus sign and words. Let's see.
Why don't we start by splitting at the beginning,
Yeah,
Actually,
split the at.
Yeah.
and then that way we
Oh,
have
yeah.
less to work.
Sure. Also, another thing you can try is just to print the length, because it might not be 2. It might just be.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're splitting up at the beginning.
Good. How was yours? Good.
We've got a split. Yeah, Ben, we're working on an you ever heard of LeetCode?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using LeetCode. We're doing, I guess, another chance to talk about it. Unique email addresses is the algorithm we're working through right now. So every email has a local name, which is the beginning, and then a domain, which is after the @ sign. There are also characters like dots and pluses. Dots just get ignored. You can just take that out. So Alice.z is actually just Alice Z. Pluses, you ignore everything after the plus. So m.y plus name at email.com. So everything after this plus is all this. So that all gets removed. And the dot gets ignored, so it gets turned into my at email.com. And then you can use them both at the same time. And we got a list of emails. And how many different unique email addresses do we actually have? So our large-scale thought looking at this is, one, we want to create an array of unique emails. Just initialize an array of unique emails. Iterate through that array of emails. So we got a for loop iterating through each of the emails. Then the first check we're doing is we're finding the plus sign, and we're removing all of the content after the plus sign. Then we find the dots and we just remove those dots. After we've removed everything, then we want to check if the final string that we're left with is a unique email. And if it is, then we add it to the array. Right now we're finishing up moving this split up front.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be just working on local instead of final string.
We have to make
Yeah,
one
good.
change up top.
I'm going to throw
Initialize the properly.
I have to do what?
I got it.
Yeah.
You doing it local?
I'm going to do it on your thing.
Samia going to change it and then I'll just copy and paste it back.
Wait,
No, it should be, I'm on your thing. Oh, you know.
what if instead of iterating through the whole string and then removing what we want, what if we go like line by line through the string and only take what we want? So, for example, in the my name, or it was m.y plus name, we go through, we take the m, we leave the dot, we take the y, and then when we see a plus, we stop. And then so now we add that to our array.
Add what?
We add the m and the y, and then that's what we check for the other things. So basically, instead of going through and removing things, we're just going through and adding things.
Adding rather than removing?
Like does that make sense?
Adding, how would you add things? That sounds like another loop, which sounds like a much higher level of complexity for the algorithm runtime. If you can, is there a way to do it without having another loop inside?
I mean, the first thing you should be concerned with when doing an algorithm is just making sure it works on necessary runtime. We can always improve runtime as we go along with the code that actually works.
If you think it'll work, just write it out so that way we can follow it.
Okay. First of all, let's go through it. Define an email with emails.
Is it good?
I have to do
String
one
split
with
email.
Yeah, we should be changing this to local, right?
we don't
And
need to add index.
we also don't need this add index.
Final email is equal to, we don't need this bar. Thing.
Should be local.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, we should need this. And just 0 to end index, that should be good. And then we'll print that final email. And then we print the local in the domain. We get the index of dots. And I don't even think we need to check. I think we can just run this replace.
Yes. I would do local that replace up top.
And this would be local, right? Not final email?
Yeah.
Do we even need a final email?
We will to add the at back.
Cool. What did I just erase?
No, that was fine. It should be local.
We can put that there, local.replace. And then get rid of this because this doesn't really matter.
Can we have multiple dots in the name?
Yeah, that's what this replace does, right?
Yeah.
Oh, does that replace every dot? Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, every dot.
Awesome. Yeah, so that works.
No, wait.
Oh no, we have already defined it up top. I don't need to redefine strings. What do you guys think of this?
Shouldn't this be local?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That should work.
Let's check. We'll run it. We get a lot of output and we get proper size. When we submit it,
Yes.
we get success. Who had the idea of doing that? I think that was all of us.
That was all of it.
There's a lot of cumulative
Yeah.
in there.
Moving it up front.
Cool. So we are faster than, we are very slow.
Yeah, we need to. We need a better algorithm.
Okay, so we've made an algorithm that works. Now let's see how it compares with the solutions that other people have.
I got all
So,
the system.print. Maybe that's.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
true.
Let's take out all those.
That'll do it.
Any more? Control find system.
Yeah, not got it.
Cool. We'll run. I guess we didn't need to run. We already know. Wow.
There.
That drastically sped up the algorithm.
That was better.
That is crazy. Okay, I feel a lot better about our algorithm now. That's cool. Okay, so let's copy this over into the code. Bam. This is final version. Now let's check out what the good solutions are. So there's, oh yeah, hey, if you're watching this video and you don't want to see solutions, exit now. We're about to do some spoiler alerts. So, one is the canonical form. For each email address, we convert it to the canonical address that actually receives the email. Separate the email address into the local and the rest. Yeah. If the local has the plus, remove it and everything beyond that. Remove all zeros from the local part. The canonical, I think this is what we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for, okay, they defined the for a little bit more efficiently, and they used a set.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then
That's faster. So.
index of at substring. Now they did substring instead of split. Interesting.
Is substring faster? I'm not sure how efficient
It is a
split
little bit faster.
Okay.
Because if you're doing it this way, it's iterating through the entire array.
Ah, this, okay, so they did it a little bit faster in just using the index of the plus.
Yeah.
And then they replaced it, and then they added it back together. So I think, hey Tangus, I think it's about the same. They don't, so the set makes it, like here we have a check to check if it contains it. But because sets can only add unique values, they just add it every time, and that saves them a little bit of time. So this is complexity, cool. That looks like the only solution. There are others. I guess this guy has faster than 99%.
Python.
Oh, Python, screw that. Cool. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's good.
So we got this in there. Let's copy the instructions. All right, so we've reviewed what we did, and we reviewed what we did. We got a working algorithm. So now we just got to store these responses up in GitHub, and then we are donezo. So Samir, how do I use this? Oh no, it's double star. That was it.
Oh, the job docs, yeah.
But why doesn't it do the dot like yours does?
It should.
All right, tell me how to do it. I'd go /
Double dot.
then what?
Enter.
Yeah.
Enter.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how you do the job docs.
No, but it doesn't. Okay, I guess it does save it all. Okay, save that. Open this guy, cd projects, algorithms, ls, git status, git add unique. What? Oh, capital U. Unique emails, git commit -m unique emails solved by Rohan, Samir, Youssef,
Yep.
Yusuf, Ben, and Tangus, you just got here. I'm sorry, I'm not counting you in. And Sweden. Git push origin, and we are bad coders, so we push directly to master.
Two origin.
Yeah.
Good catch.
You don't have a
Think that's it?
Software one. No.
This is why SSH keys are good.
Yeah.
Dang. Yes. No. Ah.
Oh, let's go see this.
Hey, does anyone of you like have a premium account for Bitcoin? Do you think it's worth it to buy the?
Also, we said. He's outside somewhere, probably on a phone call.
Yeah, he's grinding. He's focused. No way, you guys were both working out at the same time?
Yeah, I just happened to.
What am I looking up? GitHub. No, I'm still trying to.
Upload.
Cool. We're pushed. Let's check. GitLab. Oh no, I think I leave it on GitHub. Now we've got algorithms. And we've got where unique email is solved by us. Sweet. Sweet! All right, we are done. Thanks everybody for joining. Catch you next time.